Hey everybody, Kelly Sue, whoops, wrong way. Kelly Sue with Cleopatra Art Studios, and it's summer, so I need a new porch leaner. Well, hope you join me. Let me know when you get on. Oh my gosh, booby trapped myself right out the gate. So I'm gonna make a new porch leaner really quick. I had to pull the bunny off of the porch. It says spring, and it's been really hot here in the Spokane area. So I want something cooler, so I'm thinking palm trees. And feel free to follow along with this video if you want. I'm just using a porch leaner my husband built. It's 4 feet tall. I really like it. Now, I know I tell everybody all the time that you want to go left to right with your texture when you're talking sky. Otherwise, a hurricane's coming. But quite frankly, let me get the light on there. I want to get the wood covered first. It's easier to go with the grain. So I'm just going to cover it up. I got to make it a little lighter, I think. So it's about my favorite time of day when Miss Sabrina comes home from school. I know Dad just went and picked her up. And teal is so in right now. It's like the new orange. It's better than that, actually. If you're just coming on, let me know where you're from. We're in Spokane now, and it's hot. Super duper hot. So we just came from Mr. Sean graduated high school last week, you guys. How exciting is that? It was touch and go. COVID did that. It took, a great kid who never, ever misses a class, and, he formed some bad habits. It happens. So I'm just gonna go straight across, and I'm thinking palm trees for my porch leaner. I have a really nice reusable stencil. You guys know how I am with stencils. I can't get the stinking machine to work. The Cricut does not like me. If you work for Cricut, I'm so sorry. It has right there on the box. Miss Kelly Sue should never use this device. And then I really, really like to paint the side. And I'm just using just a crappy old chip brush. We all have them at home, don't we? These are called common boards. They're called 4-inch common boards, but a guy had to start this, right? It's typical. They think this is 4 inches. So the board measures 3 and just a little bit. Us women, we would have said 3 and a little bit, not 4 inch. The first time I did a project and I went up and I popped my money on the counter, and I was pretty much like, give me a 6-inch post. It was for a project at Rock Creek Elementary School in Maple Valley, to make totem poles. And then we made clay to perfectly fit on the post. Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? The clay was bigger than the post because I was shooting for 6 inches. So many jokes. All right, let me know where you're from. If you're just joining, hi. Hi guys. I'll turn this around so I can see if you have any questions. Miss Sabrina will be coming home soon, so my goal is to get done pretty quick. I get all of my stencils, good question, I get all my stencils from Essential Stencil, which is just kind of fun to say. And I said it enough times that they said, hey, why don't you come be a rep for us? So I do earn like 5% if you purchase, but you get 10% off if you use my code Clay Arts when you're ordering. What I love about them is there's more than one usage. Oh, I know why. So you can just keep reusing these and reusing these, and if you had a Girl Scout group, you could keep reusing them for each kid, or just get a couple packs. Here I go. I don't do the IT, guys. So here I am on the IT stuff. Boom. Okay. So tell me where you're from if you're just joining. I'm just keeping it nice and light. I like to see the grain, the natural grain. That's just something I like to do. If you don't like to see the natural grain, I wouldn't water down your paint at all. So I had it, you saw me, I was dunking into the water pretty generously just to get it done. I'm gonna stick this in water and grab a new one, because you guys don't need to sit and watch me paint and clean out my paintbrush. Oh, blue. I'm gonna paint the water. I'm gonna paint the beach. I kind of have a little picture what it is I'm gonna do. And then I'll put the stencil on top. So a lot like this one here, where, whoops, I keep going the wrong way, where we paint first and then put the stencil on top. That one was a lot of fun. Now you could do this with just a plain old board, you know, but lumber is really hard to come by right now. You could use just a plain old board, and that way you have the front and the back. You need to make sure the board is pretty flat. Again, I think that's a guy thing. John will go, and I love him, bless his heart. He'll go to the store, he'll go to Lowe's or the Home Depot, and he will get me, you know, what I need for my projects. And when he comes home, they're like, whoop. And of course, I probably could handle it better, but you know, I could fall back on the fact that I'm a redhead. And add some water, paint the sides for sure. And I know I want the water to have some waves. So I'm gonna put those in right now. I like to paint wet on wet a lot. So porch leaners, you could just stencil on there. No painting at all. My good friends down at AR Workshop, Brandy, she does a stenciling project. I've gone, it's wonderful. But I like to do a little bit more, so if you're like me, if you like to do a little bit more creating than just stenciling, paint the background first. I'm just putting in some really big waves. There may be a tsunami coming to this idyllic beach. Oh. It is a little harder painting to the side, you know, when you're going live. You know, you're like, did I do everything right? Did I fix the camera? Did I get on the right internet? For goodness sakes. You guys have heard me talk about our internet at this new place. We found the perfect place, perfect, and mediocre internet, you know, stops at the end of our road. I'm gonna just put some little waves. The tree probably will cover those anyway. And I'm gonna just do beach color down here. So you could use your pre-made Deco Art paint, which is fabulous. I really like the coverage, or you can make your own beachy color. Let's save that. With white and raw sienna. It's one of those paints, if you're an artist, you have raw sienna, and if not, maybe Google how to make raw sienna. Hi guys, thanks for watching today. Maybe make sure you have wet wipes ready when you start these big projects. We're really busy right now just getting our summer art kits out for the kids and our art boxes for the kids out. And I was like, okay, I need to do some art for me today. Just take a quick little break, and maybe you guys wanted to watch. So this is raw sienna. The kids, when they come to this studio, they call it baby poop because, for obvious reasons. And I have to stop myself from calling it that all the time. All the time. So once again, if you want your wood grain to show through, you're not going to put as much paint on. You're going to add maybe a little water. And I'm going to start at the bottom. That's a perfect sand color for me. It's like Puerto Rico sand, not Ocean Shores sand, because that's a little bit more, you know, like a gray base sand. I was looking for Tropical Delight, you know, specifically since, you know, probably the big trip will be not happening this year. Do you guys like to travel? I am part traveler, I swear. I love to travel. And now that I have a home that I love coming back to, we don't travel as much, definitely. We go back and forth to Montana. Mom and Dad are there, and it's 3 hours. 3 hours to get there. 4.5 if we go up to Flathead Lake, which if you've never been, what are you waiting for? It's gorgeous. Mountains and water, cold water. I pretty much only get in the water around, well, after July 4th, that's for sure. But the kids are fish. They're part mermaid, and they get in the water. So if you're just joining, let me know where you're from. Where are you watching from? Whoops. I have a kid just coming home from school. She'll probably have the case of the hangries. So if you hear doors slamming, it's just a typical day at the Robinson house. We just keep it real. If you know us, you know that we're really passionate people here. Okay, so you could give this a couple coats if you wanted to. I'm thinking I may give the blue a little bit more, but I love how see-through-y the sky is. You definitely want to work your way around the sides, so it looks like your work is complete on all sides. I know what I'm going to do there. It looks crazy. So I'm going to do some wet on wet here really quick. Yep. I love these paintbrushes from Michaels. Whoops. Whoop. I have my camera a different direction today. And they're just really awesome at holding the paint. So we do black. I think we should do black and white. I definitely think we should do glitter. What? I just happen to have some right here. Just play with the water just a little bit. Okay, I lied. It's metallic. It's Deco Art Metallics. I typically make my own glitter paint. Oh, hello, beautiful. Got some right here. Typically, I would mix it with a couple different products, but you could just use Elmer's glue all. That works great. This isn't showing that much. All right, that's okay. You try something, it doesn't always work. And then the lines that divide up the spaces, you kind of have to, you know, get in there with a little extra love. White. Let's do some white. So when you're working with white or wet on wet paint, you just have to dip in the paint more often. And I'm gonna make, okay, perfect. Miss Giselle was just writing me a letter. She's dropping off some art kits in Maple Valley. We're still busy doing stuff there. You guys are keeping me busy. Thanks a lot. When you're working and painting wet on wet, you just have to dip in the paint more frequently. I wish I was kind of head on this puppy, on this sucker. Teachable moment, splash. Those wet wipes, who knew that we would be using them as much as we do? So I just want to create that same flowy pattern, and I'm going to do it with black, and then I'm going to come in with some white. These look like, have you ever seen tribal tattoos? You know, on a guy with like big burly arms. Kind of looks the same way. Whoops. Good place to put a surfboard right there. Okay, so I'm gonna come up and go back. Come up and go back. So if you can't stick around, you can always catch the replay. Just write me, email me at cleopatra@comcast.net if you'd like the video sent to you. We can do that. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna hit it with some white. And I am serious about the glitter, guys. I mean, heck yeah, can you guys see that? Oops. Whoop. Very, very shiny. I do have some thin down glue already, just because we use it a lot. I also like using, what's it called? Gloss glazing liquid. Oops, that's a lot. I do love gloss glazing liquid. It is spendy. Not everybody's gonna have that. Some kids at home. I'll just water down some Elmer's glue all, not that wimpy school glue, guys. And I'm just going to, oh my gosh, wish you could see this. I'm trying to stay clear of the black. If you're not sorry, you know, those internet gremlins are not loving the Facebook space today. If you're not loving it, you have to let it dry and then you can make adjustments. So many people make a decision they don't love their work before the paint has cured. When it cures, it totally changes how it looks. Thank God, huh? Because sometimes it's a little messy. All right. Gonna let that dry really quick. And I'm gonna start painting my palm tree in the sky, which sounds like that should be a song. Palm tree in the sky. So tell me where your favorite beach is. My favorite beach is, I was only there for a second. I was on a cruise. It was Simony Bay on Barbados. 1 second, but it was the nicest beach I've ever seen in my life. And let's face it, I probably won't see it again because it was, you know, cruises are kind of like once in a lifetime. So really quick, I want to make my palm leaves. I don't think I'm gonna do them real fringy just because it's a nightmare on paper or canvas, and with the little grooves on the wood, I think that it would be frustrating. So I'm just gonna do my Arnold hair. What do I mean by that? I don't see it. Actually, I got it in here. And you guys remember that cartoon Arnold? Hey Arnold! He had kind of a football face and he had that hair that just shot out. So I think I'm gonna do kind of my Arnold hair palm tree today. I'm gonna leave this here, right here, so I can check it out, but maybe not on top of my drawing. So this would be really cute with turtles at the bottom, I think. I don't think I'm gonna get around to that today, but I just want something on my front porch that isn't spring bunny. All right, so we're going to mark where I want. I'm using kids chalk. It's a lifesaver. You rarely, every brush stroke is genius, rarely. So I'm just going to start a couple palm trees. That one's crazy. Or we can fix our drawing lines with chalk, or with paint, excuse me. Ooh, I might have wanted to stay in bed. I got my second shot yesterday and it's like, I'm taking it easy today. Wasn't a big deal, but I am tired. So, and then I can see the palm, the trunk would kind of come all the way down here. All right, let's use, I have some deco art. Michael's is in town here, so I've just been, you know, like stocking up on some, let's see, we got sour apple, citron green, which is the more yellow green. And this one is folk art, and it's a satin, and it is bright green, which kind of looks like Christmassy green to me, guys. All right, giddy up. So the one reason why I do like to use what I consider craft paint on top of other paint is the coverage tends to be a little bit better. So many of our artist paints are sheer, a little see-through-y. The pigment is beautiful, but coverage stinks. And just the way it is, I do think I want some of this. And then I can pick up some yellow too if I want. Just gonna double load, which just means I'm gonna dip in more than one color at a time. And I already said I had 3, so we could say triple load, but that doesn't seem like we need to. Ooh. So I'm going to paint. Texture on your brush strokes, really important. So I'm gonna paint in the direction of the foliage. I drew kind of small because I have a way of, can you guys stay inside the lines? I cannot, so I tend to go outside of the lines all the time. The original drawing outside of the lines. I got in trouble in elementary school all the time. And maybe you don't either, and that's why you follow me. They almost look like bat wings. But I do want to just stretch the design out so that the composition is more full. Go around the sides. And you can, I don't know if you can see, if you can zoom in, but that has some pretty good coverage right there. I'm not loving the black. We're gonna have to do something. I already have an idea. So what paintbrushes do you use to paint on wood? Not your best ones, guys. It's wood. It's got like tooth to it. So, you know, it can destroy your bristles. So I use my paintbrushes that I'm just about ready to retire, or if I was having a kids class, something that I would give to them to paint with. Because let's face it, the kids are going to just destroy your brushes. Don't give them your best brushes, or you'll just be setting yourself up for, you know, kind of fighting with them. We don't want that. Okay. So it looks like a hairdo. You can almost see somebody's face right here, like a football face from Arnold. He had the yellow hair. Anyway, that's kind of like my fallback if I don't want to do, you know, the foliage that kind of looks like a comb. It's just a little easier to do. So I'm going to just put some dark streaks. I got some sap green here. It's a lot darker. So when we were on this one cruise before COVID, Sabrina kept seeing on the ship people were breaking open you know, coconuts, you know, chopping them, and they were a drink, and they'd put a straw in it. And she pretty much didn't beg us, but she was getting pretty close. And I wish I had a camera. The moment that she took, I guess she thought it was going to be like a fruit tropical drink, like a sweet, fruity drink. And it's not at all. And that's one of those memories she'll always have, where she thought it was going to be fantastic and it wasn't. I want to brighten it up. So it's just about layering. I absolutely love painting on wood. It's just my jam. And if I was doing this for a party with some ladies, we would take the time to go to the blow dryer. And I may do that today. I could outline that, sure, with black, just to pull out the shape. So it's very elementary, but I was looking for a fun sign for my door that says, hey, it's summer, in case you didn't know, and some fun people live here. You know, that's me. It took me 15 years or more. Okay, I graduated college at 33 because I'm fun. Just took me a little longer. How old am I now? I am 54 now. Thanks for asking. And just took me a little while to stop playing, stop doing fun stuff, and stay focused. But, you know, I would have been a waitress forever. I worked for my dad's company too, but I would have been doing that forever because I love talking to people. So we just painted a basic shape, and by outlining it really loosely, we can make it look like there's more happening. It's kind of coming together, guys. And then I'm not going to worry about right here because that's where I'm going to start my whole boxy look, my fun look. Remember, someone fun lives at this house. If you want the stencil for Hello Summer, I would go to Essential Stencils. I love them so much. I love the fact that they're giving you a reusable stencil. Well, they're not giving them to you. You're going to purchase them. But I've used mine for many years in a row with lots of parties, so that we're not just stenciling, we're actually creating a work of art also. And it makes it a little easy. You just go to their, you click the button up above, kind of search for summer stencils. There's a Hello Summer. I have a really old one here. The new one kind of looks like the spring, where it says, oops, wrong way. You have this little one that says hello, and then the spring. I think there's 2 letters per board. They were sold out so for a while because they're such a great company. And everyone loves their stencils. But they said, hey, I'm doing a lot of recordings. A lot of people follow me. So they want to give any of you guys a discount. So, and to be honest, they give me like 5% back. So I am an affiliate now. But you get 10% off. I think they're a very generous company. So just use a coupon code Clay Arts, one word, 10. That's for the 10%. Oh my gosh, if they ever change that to a different one, I'll have to come up with a new coupon code. Woo! Anyway, a couple of you probably will do that. And you'll get to know Essential Stencils and how great they are. And they have a really great Facebook group. They do a ton, just a ton of videos. You know what? I love a little white in my palm tree hair. Remember what I said when you're painting one on wet on wet, which kind of sounds naughty, but it's just an art term. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. It just means you're going to dip in your paint just a little bit more often. Those of you that know me know I don't really have much of a filter. Sorry. So chalk. I am going to chalk myself these boxy little sections. This is my kind of like my workbook where I kind of come up with some designs for stuff. If you're just logging on now, tell me where you're from. And what's your favorite beach? I do love Puerto Rico though, but I got to tell you, we end up going to resorts, so I don't really know a lot about what's happening there right now. Okay, so I'm gonna start here and we're gonna end up here, maybe lower. And then we can put some turtles if we want. So all I'm gonna do is start with a box. Sorry, it's been a while since I did this one. Here we go. So it's almost like a trapezoid where you, instead of being a square, the sides angle in. I think it's called a trapezoid, but it took me 18 years to finish college because I'm fun. So you might want to look in your math books or ask one of your smart kids if that's really the case. And so the next one starts off inside the bottom of that trapezoid and flares out. You can go as long as you want. And then the next one starts out inside the next trapezoid. Gosh, if that's not a trapezoid, I'm gonna come off as really dumb today. Whoopsie. Just kind of angling. So not selling anything today. Just kind of loving on you guys, saying, hey, I needed a new porch cleaner. If you want this video, instead of having to search for it, if you want to just write me with your email, we can send it to you. I'm getting kind of bigger and bigger with this. But remember, the chalk is just a basic outline. I can do my own thing. You can use deco art. I'm just gonna make my own brown. So burnt sienna, a fancy art term because the people that were the art founders, they weren't fun. They give a fancy art term for everything. I'm wearing my old lady glasses. A fancy art term for everything. And I mean everything. And they can't just say, hey, brown that looks like cinnamon. They have to say burnt sienna. Because, you know, they weren't fun. So I'm just gonna mix that with black and make myself I might wanna go lighter than that, a brown. And I'll worry about shading here in a minute. I'm gonna add a little water to this color. If I feel like it's too a darken value, one of those bad words, meaning it's too dark, it's too on the black side of things, I can add some white. Just gonna outline it first. Now I just use chalk first so I can get a basic idea if I'm gonna hate it or not. I think that can go down a little bit more. I'm just gonna run off the board, whoops, in and out. Run off the board just a little bit. Except I think I can go down a little bit more. You know, this might be a good gift for Dad. Ooh, speaking of what, we have a free paint along on Friday night for kids. Just kind of a nod to our PJ and Gelato. We're painting Darth Vader. And we are, it does have the words, Dad, you are my father. Angle. Okay, so basic shape. It's very cutesy. We're just gonna fill it in. It's kind of chubby, but if you guys know me, I don't paint delicate things at all. Okay, I'm gonna fill it in. I'm gonna go dark on one side, on the shaded side, so that means just a little bit more black. And then I'm gonna come back and paint the other side with more of that burnt sienna, cinnamon brown. So I'm just gonna draw a line right down the center. And this will be me doing the shading and the highlighting very simply in a way that you can follow too. So we have taught thousands, maybe tens of thousands of kids how to do art, how to create, how to find their own voice. And after 12 or 13 years, I just love that some of them have moved on to very artistic careers, and that for a while we were a small part of that. But I guess my point is that if we can teach them, we can teach you. We're breaking it down so that it's easy. A bigger paintbrush, you know, might be advised, but I'm thinking I'm up to the challenge today. I'm taking it easy today. Side has a lot of white from the water. I'm not too worried about it though. And it's going to be darker here because no water. And what kind of paint is this? It is not Deco Art. This is Dick Blick Student Acrylic. And it's pretty good. I like it. It just doesn't have a lot of coverage that you're going to find with the Deco. But it's a lot more affordable if you're doing this in a classroom setting. People think, oh, this little bottle is only $2. It's such a savings. Well, no, because this is a 2-ounce bottle for $2.50, and this is a 16-ounce bottle. Yes, 16.9, almost 17 ounces for like 11. So let's do the math. So this ends up costing you more in the long run, but it is convenient, specifically if you have children or if you're just getting started, or if you love the color options. So I'm going to go a lot lighter on the inside. I think I'm talking too much. My nose is running. If you wanted to order the stencil, just go to Essential Stencils. Essential, like essential oils, but it's Essential Stencils. I think, I did put the link at the top. And search for Summer stencils. They have a lot, and quite frankly, if they don't have it, buy your winter stencils, because in winter they're out. All of us creative art teachers, we've wiped them out. We love them. If you're handy with the Cricut, call me because I stink. No, but you can do your own Mylar stencils. Isn't it nice to have reusable things though? It makes you feel like you're doing something good. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm lighter on one side and darker on the other. And I'm gonna let this paint dry before I decide whether I want to seal it or not. Hey, Sid. She might be out at the barn. I use that loosely. It's more like a shop. I was gonna have her bring this spray that I like to use. I like to use the triple thick, but if you use acrylic, oop, that's not right. Polyacrylic, there it is. That works too. You might just have to put an extra coat on. I just like mine super shiny. I could be done like a long time ago if I would have picked a better paintbrush, huh? So I'm going to stand back real quick, see what we got going on. You can almost see it looks kind of shaggy. So why do I say you have to wait for the paint to cure? Well, what happens is right now the molecules in the clay are taking up a lot of different class, in the paint are taking up a lot of space. As the water in those molecules dehydrates, the cells start pushing together, and your brush strokes are going to be a lot smaller, almost not noticeable, invisible. Woo! And you kind of have to wait for that to see what you got, because you're gonna have some chunky art and then it's super smooth when it dries. Now, I'm not in love with my black in my waves, so I'm gonna fix that right now. And I'm just gonna fix my beach really quick, and then I think I'm gonna just kind of skip the turtles. That's something I can add later. Right, did I decide? And I'm gonna put in my lettering. And let's do Phthalo Blue. Again from Dick Blick. Which you're gonna have to be careful, because if you do voice to text, you're gonna be surprised at what happens when you say Dick Blick to the lady in your camera or your phone. I don't think I'll do that one. Oh, here we go. And if it's not, ooh, I like it. It's giving me a little coverage, but that black is behind. So if you're just logging on, thanks for watching. You could be doing anything else with your time today. And you're sticking around here to see what kind of train wreck's gonna happen. And I love that. That's exactly something I would do. I can't look away, it's a train wreck. Which is exactly how we teach our classes. If you are around the Spokane area where we are now, we're getting ready to get started with mobile paint parties. So if you like our kooky style, let me know. We're going to a couple local diners to get started also, started teaching. Just gonna come in with a little bit more white. But because my paint is wet, I wanna wipe off my paintbrush every time. Just gives me a really sharp white. There's a lot happening. I almost really, since I have you guys here, want to pick up my phthalo green. P-H-T-H-A-L-O. And it's short for something really long, because the founders of art were not fun. You know, because there is some, you know, like green in the water, turquoisey colors. Love the water in the Caribbean. Missing it. You know, I don't think there's, it's not written in the stars this year. The Robinson family will not be going to the Caribbean. Okay, just kind of decide, do you want to go a little bit darker on your one side of your tree? I think we could. And we're going to do some detail work like outline. Awesome. All right, so let's do some outlining on the tree trunk. You can pull out your really good paint or just use your Dick Blick, which is very, very affordable. So I'm just going to come around the sides and in. Because technically the other side should be highlighted. You're not going to see that outline. Oop, I missed. That's okay. I knew I wanted that tree bigger. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I am just going to run some black halfway in and curved lines. And I will show you what we're painting this Friday for free as a class right here on my Facebook page for kids. And this allows you to go out to the fire pit with your favorite person and your favorite cocktail and leave them in, as I guess if you can trust your kids, not to throw paint. Leave them inside and you get a little date. And at the studio it was called PJ and Gelato. Obviously now it's not PJ at all. So I can get 3 and then I gotta clean my paintbrush. So I can't give them gelato, so you know, I'll leave that up to you, but don't give it to them at the beginning of class while we're still drawing. That can kind of be like a bribe. Yep, I said it. I will bribe my kids. If you let mom and dad go sit by the fire and you paint with Miss Kelly Sue, you can have some gelato. I think it's looking pretty good. You can also do that with just the cinnamon, that raw, burnt sienna. So why do I get worked up about it? Because this is raw sienna and this is burnt sienna. When you're teaching kids art classes, it's very, very difficult to get them to follow along. That's why when they came up with baby poop for this one, they can look at their paint plate, see 5 yellows and know which one is baby poop. So I was like, fine, sold. And we just call this one cinnamon because most kids know how to cook, I think. I like it. It's looking pretty good. Would I do more if I wasn't live right now? Yeah, I'd probably play around with it for a little bit more. And while that's drying, I'm gonna come in here and fix my sand just a little bit because that first coat was just not adequate. So this is, we're gonna pull out the raw sienna, or as my kids in art class say, baby poop. Okay, apparently there's a shortage. Ta-da-ta. I'm just gonna clean that up just a little bit. Yeah, better paintbrush. So make sure you have lots of water when you are painting large. And I actually prefer to paint large than paint small. Essential Stencils even has stencils for the turtles, and you can put some turtles at the bottom. I just don't know that I have the focus today to do that. I'll probably paint them later because we're in the middle of working on a whole bunch of stuff. This side looks a little boring, doesn't it? Let's dry brush some lighter colors in. Just using a stiff fan brush. I feel like we should outline that side too a little bit. So this is a stiff fan brush, not a soft fan brush. So difference, this is boar's hair. You're gonna get a little bit more straight lines, that texture. The soft fan brushes, I have one right here. They're kind of limpy. That's what I can say, and kind of wimpy and limpy. But they don't really do much for the way of, like, if you were gonna Bob Ross up a, you know, a pine tree, you could not really do that very well with the soft fan brushes. So I'm just mixing a really dark brown and instead of black to do my outline, and then I'm going to go blow dry. If you want us to send you the video so you don't have to search through all of our videos to find it, just simply send us an email. There's probably a link in our bio. I'm not going to holler it out. Whoop. Okay, I feel like that's a lot better. Perfect. I'm just going to blow dry. Meet you back here for stenciling, and we'll finish up this baby. I was thinking I should probably do it over here where you guys can see. And then I completely ruined that area over there. So if you're still watching, you probably just didn't get enough of the train wreck that is today. I'm looking for a plate to put my stencil paint, and I'm gonna go with orange and magenta. I think they are called analogous colors, meaning they look nice together. So I didn't want to go with anything blue or purpley because it wouldn't pop. We're looking for something across from the color wheel that's going to pop. So let me grab my stencil. Remember, mine is older, and I think it was for a 5-footer, so I have to do a little finagling and hope that I spell it right. Now, the great thing about essential stencils, their stencils have 2 letters per stencil, and it's harder to screw up. Okay, so I'm gonna put hello up here because I did hello spring, and I think I'm gonna stick my summer. I could either go straight in the middle or on the side. I don't know what you guys think. S, what comes next? Okay, where's my U? You know, you can't have a summer without you. Right? I actually have a second kit here, so S-M-M-E-R. Oh my gosh, you can't have a summer without you. Ha ha. All right, I have a second stencil kit here. Oh, I found it. The U. And then the problem when you have the stencils that are singular, you have to kind of decide if they're straight on or not. Because like the U could be backwards. You know, something classic I would do, but I'd be completely fine with it. I just want to make sure we have enough room before I start pouncing. Okay, so M or M? Yep. You guys, I'm gonna end up putting my M's backwards. It's fine. I'm gonna leave room for turtles. I won't do them today, but I'll do them soon. Okay, so I stuck them pretty close together. I have a little bit more room that I can drop them down. So if my, yeah, I don't like that color. If my lettering is orange with a pink outline, I think that would be fabulous. So my question is, what do I want to do with my hello? Do I want to say pink with a purple outline? Or maybe a dark teal like this here, maybe a really dark teal. That might be good, except you might not be able to see it very well. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. I'm very impulsive, if you didn't know. So dark teal, dark teal. So I made this one. Oh, you know what? Let's use, Deco Art has a desert turquoise. Do you guys think you'll see it well enough? There you go. Maybe I should go. It's hard. I should have had a go plan. Okay, so it's gonna look pretty similar, I think. I can make my own turquoise. It's pretty light. I'm gonna do my own thing. All right. I do have some, oh, that's Payne's Gray. I do have some I made up. So how do you stencil? Well, some people bring out the spray and put the stencil down with the spray, and you can totally do that if you want to. I'm just going to use a couple foam brushes. I do have a stenciling brush. I may or may not use it. Just depends. So let me see if I like this turquoise or not. So I'm just gonna hold it in place. And technically, you're not supposed to have very much paint at all. Yeah, or it bleeds. I don't love that because it doesn't have enough white in it. So guess what? Teachable moment. My background is dry. So if I just take a clean wet wipe, it's like it never happened, y'all. Yeah, I say that, but apparently wood likes to hold on to the color. There we go. But you have to get to it right away. And so the great thing about acrylic paint is it is very forgiving in that if it's not dry, you can typically wipe it off. If it is dry, you can typically go over it. Okay, so big fail on that color, but hey, it happens. So then the question is, do I want to make my own, or, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do real subtle. Like, I love golden fluid acrylics. I'm gonna outline it. And it is teal. So it's not super different than the background, but I'm gonna change that up here. So what is teal, but it's like cerulean blue, like a light blue with a tiny little bit of yellow, bright yellow. It's very important. Yikes. Okay, I gotta tell you, I love everything about living in Spokane. However, Amazon, you guys have a stinking headquarters, what do you call it? Disbursement center, distribution center, here, right here. And it takes me so long to get my paints. So, can anybody work on that for me? Say, we have a whole like lifestyle here we have to support with getting our paints on time. Takes too long. Okay, here we go. So I tapped on, I'm gonna bounce off. You can't have too much on there, guys. A lot of people like to keep a paper bag next to them. Ta-da. Just holding down the stencil. I made my turquoise, I'm sorry, my teal, which is kind of like turquoise, just a little darker by mixing some cerulean blue. And see how far I can go with just a bounce. So some people like to, keep your fingers clean, okay? Some people like to bounce off on a paper bag. Some people like to just use the stippling brush, which is a fancy word for that one. Some people like to spray a glue, like, what do you call it? Well, it's adhesive, another big word. Stay in school, kids. Like to spray an adhesive to get really clean lines. And I just don't know that the throwaway or disposable stencils are even much better. They're still bleeding. That happens. What I like to do is camouflage it. Oh, cover it up. But what I'm here to show you is, if my goofy butt can do this, you can do this. We have a lot of art classes and art boxes and stuff to help. If you don't want to take classes from me, find somebody else. You guys can do this. Just practice. If we teach kids all day long, you know, we can teach you. Like I said, it's important to have someone you like. I like how it's subtle, but it's still noticeable. These are really easy to just wash off in the sink. I love that color. I am going to outline, let's see, black. Ta-da. I'm not going to do the whole thing. And I want to pull out my good black, and it's called, again, golden fluid acrylics. They're really, really good paint. So why didn't I use it for the whole thing? Guys, it's so spendy. Bring out your big guns for the good stuff. Like the outlining. A couple drops will do ya. You don't want to buy these for your kids unless they are an inspired artist. We divide up our kid classes. Like, do you have a beginning artist? Do you have just, you know, a hopeful artist? Do you have one that's on his way and they know their basic shapes? Do you have an inspired artist who's always looking for new ideas? So you may want to buy those paints for your inspired artist because they know, by then they know how to take care of their supplies, or they won't get any more, will they? But they're expensive. You don't want to get those expensive supplies for just your hopeful artist, your ones that are just starting out. And I know, Granny, you're watching Granny and you're like, not my grandkid. They're fabulous, and I'm gonna get them the best supplies right out the gate just because, so that they can have the best advantage ever. Well, my thought is, give them an advantage by giving them supplies that are, you know, less, you know, more affordable, so that they can do more practice, because art is a learned activity, a learned talent. The more you do, the better you are. So all I did was outline with some black. I like it. It looks very Caribbean. And let me set my letters out here. Some of you guys are not gonna like this orange. Right away, I know. Hey, it's been a good day. I got my jeans or my shorts on from last year and they zipped. So I'm having a good day. So I am going to do some colors that are really colorful. So I'm thinking I would take a color wheel, a 12-part color wheel, and I would say these colors are analogous. Big term, meaning they're right next to each other on the color wheel and they look fine together. But if I want a color to pop, I'm going to go across that color wheel somewhere. I'm fluid. Okay, so let's lay these out again. Hello, Summer. Wish I would have gone a little higher. I don't want to cover up all my, I'm going to go lower. I don't want to cover up all of my tree. Those of you that are watching, you know why I have so much room? Because I still have my U in my hand. Okay. This got really dirty really fast. I want to make sure that none of the paint's on the other side. All right. Because I had it laying in the hair part of the palm tree. Like I said, it's a train wreck. We guarantee to keep your attention because of the wreck that we are. And that's just how we do art. And then we clean it up and it's okay. And we have the best time ever. Okay. Okay. Summer is spelled S-U, right? Do I want to go U? No. U. You guys try it. Try to lay out letters live on camera and see how you do. M. One of the reasons I like the new Essential stencils is they just are easier to line up. There's 2 letters per piece, so they're a little longer. And if you wanted the new stencil, looks a little bit different than this, you go to their website, click the link up above, and oops, and you get 10% off by using my coupon code ClayArts10, 10% Clay Arts. I said if they ever change that, I'm kind of in trouble. Okay, and then they throw me like 5% or something like that. I just want to know, I want you to know who I'm using because I really like their stuff. All right, let me move this light. Okay, ta-da. Okay, so we're gonna go down towards the bottom. I'm okay with that. Okay, and then I can do some little turtles or sea stars, but I don't have to decide today. So I'm gonna use, oh, bright orange. Do you think it's gonna be too bright? I wanted to use vivid because it was so much nicer. But I didn't have enough. Bad timing. You know what? If I decide that it's too bright, I can tone it down, right? Oh, so I'll stomp on one. We'll see what we get. Let me get a paper bag. You guys have paper bags in your art room, don't you? Oh, well, mine was a lunch bag. Sabrina is probably making her lunch. Okay, I'm gonna use a fancy one because that's what I got. All right, let's see what we get. Loading my brush, bouncing it off. I don't think you guys can see that. The camera's kind of funky today. Bouncing it off. Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, so this lovely orange does not have very good coverage. Boo. Typically Smart Mart does, or Craft Smart. It's not my, honestly, sorry if you work there. It's not my favorite. It's almost the same color. It's not my favorite paint. Just because it's super matte. But I am putting a spray on this anyway. So if you're really handy with a Cricut, you could do the throwaway, one-time use stencils. However, what you need to know is this background has to be super duper dry, like days dry, or else that adhesive pulls up. I want to see what that looks like. That adhesive pulls up the paint when you peel it off, which is not a good day for anybody. I know a lot of people really like Craft Smart. I just like my paint to have a little bit more shimmer and shine. Load on, load off. Wax on, wax off. Okay. Yes. Hold it down so it doesn't bop around. Because every time it lifts up, you're gonna have that bleed through where the paint is underneath. But honestly, this is a fun art for me, so I don't really get too worked up about it. And that's why I come in with outlines so that I can make it look a little bit more perfect. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to give these a second coat. Okay, there is a texture on the paint if you're doing this at home. When that dries, those molecules will shrink. Gosh, there's so much chemistry in art, isn't there? They will shrink, and then you will not have as much. So the orange is really popping against that blue-green sky and water. Really hold this down. Maybe if you had a friend, they could hold it down for you. Or if you had a table, you could get all the way around. But the art gods were not kind today. When I was setting up, I had some go problems. So here's the thing. I'd say make one and then give it away, gift it away. And then make the better one for your house. So I was I do a lot of fundraisers for school to help the school raise funds like the PTAs, and virtually specifically anymore. So I was painting one of these regularly to give away as a door prize. And then I was like, people probably wouldn't mind painting their own, whoops, and I wouldn't mind recapturing some of that time suck of doing so much, because you want your art, you want it to be fun. And when you're having to do it all the time, you know, coming up with new projects and stuff, it's really easy to have the life pulled out of your fun. It becomes a job. So I was fast approaching that stage, just with, you know, kind of like mom burnout, but porch leaner burnout, because I was having to come up with them. So then we just went to something else. But I say you have one bad throwaway pancake, you know, you just do, right? But you have these reusable stencils from Essential Stencil. Click the link because I'm obviously speaking foreign language today. And yours will look a little bit different, but you can do as many as you want. So how do you make these boards? Well, are you handy, or do you have someone handy in the house? Is the best thing I can say. My husband makes them for me. I don't know why, but he does. He must love me. And they don't take him very long. He cuts these boards, and they're 4 feet long, and they are supposed to be 4-inch common boards, and they are not. They work out to be 3. A guy probably came up with this measuring device. 3.5. So the whole thing is probably 14 inches wide, 4 feet tall. This is how they're connected in the back with 1, 2, 3 common boards. Does he screw them? Screwed in across. I love the ones that have knots that are coming out. Okay, guys, it's wood. It's a natural product. You're not going to have the perfect porch leaner. But if I come to your house and we do a party in your garage for your girlfriends or whatever, I will do the best I can with those porch leaners to make sure they're fantastic, but they're still a natural product. There's just going to be variation, I guess. There's going to be variety in the nature. There's going to be variation in just the wood because it's a natural product, and it's super spendy right now. But anytime I do these for parties, I gotta tell you, one of my favorite parties. They take a little longer than you think. Danielle, if you're watching, yours was the longest ever. It was in our garage the first December after COVID, and it was so cold the paint was not drying, you guys. So good thing that, you know, she loves her friends, and I didn't have anywhere else to go that night. Okay, so you hope that by the time you're done, one time you go back, that it is dry, like your S. I'm hoping my S is dry. Bleed out is not too bad. I normally try to position my letters where the cracks in the board are not. Oopsie. Just trying to try to line that back up. And it just helps, but you can come in with your paintbrush and fix that. Let me get a wet wipe. And if that orange is dry, I can just come in and stick a turtle on there or just paint that beach color all over again. Now, if I bring up a hairdryer, all of these are gonna just blow away, which is not what we're looking for. But the paint has a glue polymer inside, and the glue polymer's molecules are shaped like a stop sign, like a honeycomb. And so they're very tight together, kind of lined up like a wall, you know, one of those protective walls for the nerds out there. I'm not at all, but I have the higher respect for the nerds. So what happens is if you add too much water, the molecules float apart from each other, so they don't have that strong honeycomb shape anymore. And the pigment can completely like come up, start lifting up, which is what happened to the early painters of the acrylic paint. It's only been around since like the very end of the 50s, the beginning of the 60s, and you know, big mistakes. I used to tell the painters to take a big paintbrush, a bucket of water, and some burnt sienna, we talked about that color already, and put a wash on everything that they're doing, and all of the paint falls, you know, kind of started lifting up recently. So you'll get a good 10 years. So you don't want to water down your paint, but that glue polymer also, when you put fresh paint on top of the old paint, and it's just starting to dry, getting kind of tacky, what happens is you kind of get a bald spot. So if yours is kind of in that tacky stage, you need to kind of leave it and or dry it. So mine is pretty close to it, and I don't want to have a bald spot. So, but I can't blow dry it. What am I going to do? Well, you could take a paper plate, which, oh, I have a whole bunch. It was shopping day. And you're just gonna kind of just wave it around if you're at a party outside. They dry pretty quick. You can get to see bingo arms flapping. Sorry guys, COVID was hard. Or if you're teaching this, you can, of course, what you can do is just teach it slower. I'm just a big talker. Thanks for joining, guys. If you're just joining, tell us where you're from today. Where are you at? Are you anywhere fun? Is the sun shining? Do you need a summer porch leaner? Well, I'm not going to sell it to you because I don't know how to get these puppies to you. But if you want the video so you can do your own, just go to my bio, hit email, and just ask for it. It'll take me a day or two because remember, internet stinks here at Casa de la Robinson, but I get into the library every couple days. That's right, we're doing it old school. I think I might add some white this time just to get a little bit better coverage. And I like how it pops, so I hope I don't change that brightness too much. I should do it here, huh? And it'll add some natural highlights. So bounce on, bounce off, just kind of mixing it up a little bit. Just to give it a little bit more coverage. Oh yeah. Well done. Remember, you're gonna have a texture, but the texture is going to minimize as the paint dries. Anyway, not selling anything today. Hoping that I just want to kind of love on you and let you know that, hey, I'm changing. It's time to change out your porch leaners, guys. Why in the world do I have fuzz on that? It's time to change out your porch leaner to the summer look. Oops. So let's get it on. Show me your porch leaner. What is a porch leaner? It sticks on your porch. I don't really like the really tall ones. I know some of you have these big glamorous front doorways. I do not. I have a country home. That's just kind of who I am. I like the country look. And it just happened to come with a really short doorway. I like the smaller, shorter ones that take less for me to complete. I also like to make homemade things. They're just cute, right? I have made some door hangers for my mother-in-law. Yes, I kept the throwaway pancake when it came to my mama. And the same with my mother-in-law. And some we've given away for door prizes. So if you're looking to paint something for a fundraiser, these normally go about $55–60, and they pretty much always go. There's always somebody that's looking for something cutesy, but they don't want to do it themselves. I'm gonna have a lot of bleeding on this, so it'll be a great teachable moment. What is bleeding? Well, bleeding is when, ooh, some of that blue is coming through too. Bleeding is when you actually get some paint under the stencil. Ooh. So it doesn't look like that water was completely dry. So it's a little muddled. But it's art and it's okay. And we're gonna let it dry and see what we get. I hear our guinea pigs. So those of you that have been following our story with Hazel, our new adopted dog, well, that is really wet there. We love her so much. So she came from Texas. Nobody really knows what kind of breed she is, but she's fast. And she's a doll. And we went to the pound and somebody had taken her home and brought her right back because they just didn't, quote unquote, love her. And I get that. But I don't get that, sorry. You can't tell in 2 days. So, sorry, did that come off as judgy? It's just because I love her so much. She's just such a great dog. Now, you know, we have Bassets, and they're senior Bassets, and she's trying, and she's being very gentle with them. And she's trying very hard to still play, because she's, you know, okay. The Humane Society, love them. They thought she was 2.5 years old. She's the vet has her at barely 1, so she likes to play a lot. Good news is that she comes back when we call her so far. But super great addition to the family. Very happy. And she just sits outside when we pack our boxes. Oops. Okay, what happens when you lose your way? You just put it right back. Try to find the path back home as soon as you can. All right, one more letter. Whew, a little outline and we're done. I think it's probably only taken about an hour, but you know, holding your posture for this long is exhausting. Ooh, that's pretty light. Let me fix that right now. So, hey, I'm trying to do this too, and I really don't like that paintbrush you're using. What could I use? You could use the stippling brush, fancy term for a stencil paintbrush. It's right here. Boar's hair, they're very stiff. And I like to use them for smaller stencils, and you want to always kind of do little circles. You don't want to put too much paint on these. So let's check it out. Ta-da! I told you we'd have a little bleeding, and we do, but we will fix that. Just gonna lay these out so they don't stick together. Was it the E that I lost my way with? So I can come back and put a little love on the letters where the blue kind of bled through if I really wanted to. I like how bright, how the lettering stands out against the blues and the greens. And that's because we want to cross the color wheel and found a color that would work for us. Now my studio is upstairs. Sydney hates it when I clean my paintbrushes in her bathroom, but guess what, girl? Oh, yes, she did. I'm gonna try Royal Fuchsia and see. If you ask me to send you the video link for this, I will include the paint colors that I used, or I'll try to. Let's do it this way. But really, do your own thing. Get some greens, some blues, something that looks like sand. What are you going to use for color? You want it to be a little bit different. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm going to add, you know, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to add Golden Fluid Acrylic Red to this. Why? The pigment is intense. That's why they cost more than your first kid's birth. They're just really, really, really pigmenty. Perfect. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm gonna go kind of like right here. And then kind of right here. I'm not gonna outline everything, guys. And I told you that this board here really, really burns my chaps or chaps my whatever. Because it makes it hard for me to get a nice line in there. But see how that lettering, that outlining helps it pop? And my magenta just wasn't popping enough, so I took something that had a little bit more pigment. And popped it in there. And it helps cover up those lines that are just not helpful. Oof, getting tired. Just having a good time painting with you though today. And I thought that you could be using a new piece of art for your front door. So here's a free lesson for you. If you want the video, just hit the bio link, hit the email, and just ask. In the next day or two, I will copy this. Is that right? S-U-M-M-E-R. Okay. I will completely copy this to a YouTube video and send the link. I think I want to do the top of this one. And then the S is hard because the dark brown already outlines it for me. Kind of like a natural outline. So find yourself a nice paintbrush. You could do this twice if you wanted to. And I'm just gonna pull in some white real quick. And this will help them pop just a little bit more. You could almost clean that up a little bit more. I think it'd be okay. So the test is letting it dry. This could be my throwaway pancake, right? The test is letting it dry and then sealing it. Hey, Sid! I'm gonna have her get my sealer for you. But she's kindly ignoring me. Oh, it's looking really good, guys. What did I say had a really bad edge? Okay, this E right here has a really bad edge. All right. So let me hold it up. Hey, can you run down and in the mudroom get that can of triple thick spray? So I can show these guys. Okay, so real quick. Hello, Summer. I might bring in some white here. And got a palm tree, fat, ginormous palm tree. Oh, you know what we're missing? Coconuts. And then the letter Summer, or the lettering Summer. And this could be my throwaway pancake. Maybe I want to do something a little bit better. Definitely bring in some white with, where's my fan brush? So now that I'm holding it, I'm like, okay, well now I need to do this and this and this. Where are we at? Thanks. So I really like to use the Crayon Triple Thick spray. It's just really nice and it's thick. It's crystal clear. It doesn't seem to yellow too much over time. I'm just gonna put some beachy waves right there. Throughout here. Just some beachy waves. Should have probably done that before the lettering. That's okay. It helps cover up that awkward where the beach hits the water. It's very awkward there. I want to add a little white and I want to do my palm, what do you call those? The little coconuts. So the coconuts are just going to be the same color as the light side. And you may have to do a couple coats. So I have white, I have raw burnt sienna. Just doing 3. I think the burnt sienna looks a little better. I added a little bit too much white. Let me give a second to highlight and light these puppies. Little black holes. Just 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to do a stroke of white for highlight near the top. I think it'd be a little darker, don't you think? Maybe a little darker. And I might have to wait for them to dry to finish touching them up. I forgot how fat my palm tree was. So my coconuts were like super small. Yep, looking good. Okay, I got some black. Just some holes. And then some white. highlights. And then I want to use some white outlining on my letters just to help them pop just a little bit more. Looking so good. All right, so my grandma Toot always said if you have to ask yourself if you want more, that's probably you don't. So what I always say is, if you're wondering, do I need more? What do I need to add? That's a really good, great place to stop and kind of wait a day or two. Let the paint do its thing. And then you're not, because you can always add more. You can't take it away. Not very well. Not very, I don't care what they say. You can't take it away very well. I got some green down there. That's okay, we got a little splatter. So I hope you love it. Hello, summer. Summer is here. And now everybody is going to know when they come to my door. And if you liked the video, get the stencils from Essential Stencils. Wow, that was hard. Words are just hard sometimes. And use the coupon code so you get 10% off, and then you can reuse these. Remember, you can do your throwaway pancake. Whoever gets it is still gonna love it. They don't have to know that you were practicing on that one. So if you really like, now I happen to like the throwaway pancakes. I like imperfections, but if you're really particular, you can make your own. You know, after you did the throwaway pancake. Anyway, I'm Miss Kelly Sue with Cleopatra Art Studios, and we teach kids and families how to paint and create together. So I hope you enjoyed today while I was just doing something for me. Have a good day. Bye.